Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Mike.
It's Sam.
It's Yi.
So this situation, it still happens, right? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this blatant discrimination that goes on in our country.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna point this out. This happens a lot more, I feel like, in smaller rural areas than big urban cities.
Yeah. So this 18-year-old waitress, her name is Sadie Karina. She got a note from a couple. We'll just tell you right now. The note said, "We only tip citizens."
Yeah.
They wrote it in the tip area, okay? She said that when they came in, she felt weird because they never talked to her.
Right.
They only nodded. So, that's really weird, right?
Yeah.
You're like, what would you like? You want a hamburger?
Or you greet them, you're like, welcome, thanks for
and they're like,
guys.
So you're like, yo, this is really strange. She showed this note to her grandpa. She's not the one that posted the note. In fact, she's like a really good person.
Yeah.
She's like, look, they can treat me this way, but I'm still gonna be a really nice person, right? And she said, I'll even serve them again.
Yeah.
It's the grandpa that's livid.
The grandpa is white.
Right. The grandpa basically posted this note and now
Shame the couple who did this.
The couple who did this.
Well, here's the twist to the story.
Yeah.
Because it's not a major city. It's like one of those, places I lived in, right?
Yeah.
So people kind of know each other almost.
Yeah.
So the woman, there was one man and a woman. The woman who did this, who was part of the duo. Well, she didn't do this, but part of the duo was actually friends with the waitress's mother.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so that woman was like, yeah, the guy that I was with did it. Okay, first of all, you both did it, all right? Like, I get it, the other guy wrote it, but you didn't do anything to stop it. So the grandpa posts this online, so now this couple's getting flack for it.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Yeah.
Couple walks back in, you've been shamed, and now you go back into the restaurant, and basically, you have an argument with the grandpa.
Yeah.
Basically, the couple was like, why did you put that out?
Why'd you post it?
So
because you're being a moron, and people need to know.
Exactly.
I can't believe how ignorant this couple is. And by the way, I don't think that lady is innocent at all.
Yeah.
Because, okay, they came in. I feel like Sadie wouldn't have felt like hostility from both of them.
Correct.
Like, she was like, oh, neither of them were talking to me. Well, if the lady didn't do anything, she would have been calling the guy out. She would have been like, yo, don't treat her like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, treat her with respect.
Right.
But I feel like the lady just went along with it.
But I feel like this kind of stuff, it just shows the amount of ignorance that's still going around the country. Like, we're not really political people. We're not. I've never really voted in a presidential election because I really don't feel like, personally, I don't feel like it really matters.
Yeah,
it just
same
feels
here.
Like, all right, well, whatever. Like, it's corporations running a country anyway. Like, whatever. I feel like this presidential campaign has brought up more ignorant statements and more ignorance in people.
Exactly.
Like, at least brought it to the surface. I think it was always there, but it actually brought it to the surface. That this kind of stuff, it just feels like it's just a long chain of similar junk. Yeah. Similar, like, racist, prejudice, ignorance that's just kind of bubbling up to the surface of this country right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And everyone's affected. I mean, a lot of us, like every minority would be affected by this because people just assume like, oh, you're not.
How do you know she's not a citizen?
Yeah. Well, first of all, she is.
She is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not you're not prejudiced. You're not even prejudiced against someone who you might not think is a citizen. You're blatantly racist.
It's blatant racism being hid behind, oh, you're not a citizen. You know what I mean? Like, so what's to say that next time we get a no, it's like, yo, we get that before. I mean, I don't know how many times they'll be like, go back to your country. Like, yeah, I speak English, man.
No,
and,
you know what?
I'll
do
gladly,
that a lot. Just go back to your country.
If I could go back, but I don't even have to stay here. Like, I'm just like, okay, you know what? Go back. You go back into your hole.
What really troubles me is I feel like you're right, Mike. There's a lot of this resentment and ignorance hidden underneath the surface. Like, it wasn't gone. It was just sometimes it's less talked about. And all of a sudden, it's okay to talk about it for some reason. Like, after so many years of, like, okay, finally it's starting to go away, all of a sudden people feel like it's okay to, like, express this kind of feeling
because
again.
of the whole presidential election
and then
thing right now.
I'm like, all of a sudden, like, it's okay to be hateful again. And I'm like,
there's literally a guy running for president who's like, build a wall, send them back to their country.
She was born in America, and she speaks perfect English. And then here comes a person who's like, I'm more of a citizen than you are. You're not a citizen. When these people don't know her at all, make a judgment purely based on the way she looks. And then I'm like, okay, these two people are so mean.
Yeah.
Why are you so mean?
I'll tell you why. Not I'll tell you why, but this is one reason I will only live in major urban cities for the rest of my
because
life.
Of this.
Because I lived in, all my life, I lived in these places like Harrisburg and whatever. And there's so many, because it's predominantly white. All right? So there's such a lack of diversity that people are literally, this is ingrained in their heads. Like when I went to high school, people have actually told me, they're like, you should date people of your own race. I'm like, well, first of all, I'm the only Chinese in this town.
Yeah,
so I don't know what to do. I mean,
nobody here.
I could just wait until I go to college, which didn't help much because I went to Kirksville, Missouri, which like my first voicemail, kid you not, my first voicemail was literally a voicemail saying, go back to China.
No.
Somebody, I don't know who it is.
No way.
Yeah, I kid you not.
Wow.
So literally, it's these are like these are just crazy things that do happen all the time.
Right.
And like right now, people are actually feeling like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna express myself.
Exactly.
Like this is not expressing yourself. This is just expressing how dumb, how ignorant, how moronic you are.
I feel like people need to learn to be more compassionate because fundamentally, people need to make a change in their hearts and learn to be more tolerant and compassionate toward other people and be more open in their worldview. I just feel like that needs to happen.
Right.
Even if they repress it, they still think it. One day it's gonna come out one way or another in the form of some other kind of hatred. Like right now, they leave a kind of like a mean note, but you know, if people repress them, they're not really changing inside.
Right.
They
just feel like, oh, now we can't talk about it. We have to be PC, but I still hate people. Meh.
Can you just imagine how this meal went?
Yeah.
Put yourself in the shoes of these two people, right? You come in to a restaurant and they see this waitress right away. They won't acknowledge her because they think about it. They did this because they have a pent-up rage or anger towards something.
Ridiculous.
So then you basically stew in this anger throughout the whole meal to the point you're not even talking to her. You're not enjoying your meal. You're just sitting there, stealing our job. Go back to their own country right here.
Taking our job.
Build walls, keep these people out. Like your whole meal, you're literally like to the point where you leave that stuff at the end. Because it's not like you go in there, you have a pleasant meal, and you're like, hey, let's leave a hateful message. It's not like that. You know? It's literally built up, you leave a message, and that's your day.
And I definitely feel like kudos to this young woman because she was totally like, I mean, she was distraught because she's like, yeah, I can't believe this still happens today. But she was like, to be like, I'll serve them again. That's true compassion. True compassion is like when somebody like kicks you, beats you, and you're literally like, yo, I will forgive you. I will talk to you again. You know, like, because she could easily be like, oh, nothing to do with them. And they're banned from the restaurant, but she's
the owner banned them from the restaurant.
The owner banned them.
And good on that owner because like seriously, these guys are so mean.
Yeah.
I feel like obviously in this situation, the young lady Sadie, she came out to be the better one.
Yeah.
She obviously look at her behavior comparing to these two people. I mean,
and she got a really good note from when this is all over the news. So she got a note from the people of Harrisonburg. People were like, yo, we appreciate and value your hard work and taking care of the people in the community. And then I guess they left her a good tip.
That's good.
Great. So you know what? It shows that humanity is not completely lost, and it's just these dumb idiot people.
Individuals, like a few individuals. Obviously, there's gonna be a few rotten apples in a barrel. It's not like the people of Harrisonburg are really mistreating them. She's like, no, that's why she was shocked when this happened.
Well, I'm jaded because I've experienced literally
blatant
every other day.
racism.
Literally every other day when I lived in Quincy, Illinois, Kirksville, Missouri, Fairmont, Minnesota, Iowa. Like I literally experience this like every other day.
It just shows that when there's not enough education, not enough leaders out there to make it known to people that, hey, we should all be less racist, or we should not be racist at all. That's how things fester. So if you go around there now,
of course, there's not. I'm not saying everybody's like that over there, but like there's definitely more of a problem like that when you don't have awareness to other cultures and don't have access to different people. Then that's
the person you see on TV who could be your president says the thing he says. It's just kind of like.
Well, anyway, let us know your thoughts on the story, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. See you.